Aaron, what is our second main topic today?
Yes, our second main topic comes in from Boba Frank. He says, "Hey crew, if I'm going to be completely honest, I have to say that I haven't loved Boba Fett so far. I was more excited for it than
Mandalorian?
I was more excited for it that Mandalorian season 3, but the first 3 episodes have left me feeling flat. Tonight, I've got my fingers crossed that it will turn the corner. If you get this in time for Wednesday's show, what did you think of the new episode?"
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Boba Frank. And yeah, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was almost more excited for Book of Boba Fett than I was for Mandalorian season 3. I mean, I was still more excited for Mandalorian season 3, but the way they used Boba Fett in Mandalorian season 2, that ending with them taking out Bib Fortuna, I think it's fair to say my anticipation level for this was huge, massively huge. I have not hated the series, but I have been disappointed by it. And it's especially surprising when you realize this is the same team doing Mandalorian. It's still John Favreau. And when you look at and it's not like John Favreau just got lucky with Mandalorian season 1. He followed that up with Mandalorian season 2, which a lot of people think was even better than Mandalorian season 1. And so I've been kind of surprised with the level of quality or lack thereof that we've had in Boba Fett through the first 3 episodes. I thought episode 2 was pretty good. I liked episode 2. Why they brought the Mos Espa Vespas into this thing, I have no idea, but we've had a lot of reason to question Boba Fett's intelligence, his management skills, all that kind of stuff. So we go into episode 3 or episode 4. I will say this. I thought episode 4 was a good episode. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode, but boy, did it start shaky. And boy, does it continue to cause us to question the basic intelligence of Boba Fett. Like, I'm not going to say much because I don't want to go into real key specific details, but there's a scene where he's hovering over something and we're all just like, well, we all know what's about to happen, right? Like if you saw the episode, you know we're talking. We all know what's about to happen. The only person in this realm of reality that didn't know it was about to happen apparently was Boba Fett. And like that happens, and I'm like, eh. But again, I thought once you got past the first part of the episode, which again was pretty weak, and why the neo-techno EDM kid gangs in Tatooine that whatever. It's dumb. It's so bad. But once they move beyond that stuff in the story, I actually thought it picked up, and I ended up by the time the episode ended going, okay, all right, I like this episode. No, not as good as almost any episode of Mandalorian, but I still liked it. Anyway, Rob, where have you been at as far as being through Boba Fett episode 3, and what did you generally feel about Boba Fett episode 4?
I feel this show is incredibly schizophrenic, and my response to this show is I feel like I'm being whipped around, I'm being dragged behind a car by a chain, and I get thrown all over the place. Some of it's good. I think some of it's needless. I thought the first half of this episode was pretty useless. I mean, the idea that I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil anything, but something happens. They reacquire something in this episode that they were missing. And I'm like, it was just, the reacquisition of this item was stupid. I mean, all it did was once again diminish Boba Fett's abilities. And I would have liked to have seen, they don't show him being the badass he was in Mandalorian. He kind of bumbles his way. There's actually a scene where he's literally bumbling through a kitchen. Can I say that?
Sure.
And I'm just like, really? Come on, man. And why do you have to take this character? This guy has to be the most badass dude ever. And all they do is undercut him at every turn. Although I like Tamora Morrison and I like how he's playing the character, but these action scenes, like, forget all that. Although that said, the latter half of this episode, I enjoyed a heck of a lot more. And so for me, this episode encompasses both the greatness and the worst of this show. It's not as bad as the last episode, but you know what? Why you can't convince me you can ride around on a bantha and move between element places with any kind of speed. Where he has speeder bikes. Why doesn't he steal another speeder bike? He'd get around a lot faster. Why aren't Fennec Shand and him walking around, flying around on speeder bikes? It's just, I'm like, why do I have? Anyway.
There was another thing about it that just made me go, I mean, look, when you look at the show overall in its entirety, I thought for a lot of years, the reason I would not be excited for a Boba Fett movie or series is we should not look behind the mask. We shouldn't. Look, the reason Boba Fett was such a popular character for decades, despite, people would always ask me, they say, John, why is this Boba Fett so popular? He hardly did anything in the movies. You barely saw him. He hardly had any lines. I'm like, that's it exactly. There is a mystery to him. He's the guy who came out of nowhere and took down Han Solo.
That's right.
All that kind of stuff. This idea of, like, even when Josh Trank was going to do the movie, and I liked Josh Trank as a filmmaker very much at the time, but I was like, I don't want to see Boba Fett coming home, taking off his mask, have Boba Fett Jr. run up and hand him his brandy after a long, hard day of bounty hunting, and, say, then the wife gets home from work and says, I got dinner tonight, dear. And then he goes, makes dinner, and I don't want to see that. Mandalorian season 2 changed my mind. It changed my mind. Because you're right. Say whatever you want about these episodes of Boba Fett. Tamora is playing the hell out of it. Like I thought the best moment in this episode, maybe even the best moment in the entire series so far, other than when he came back to find the Tusken Raiders village destroyed. That was really good. That was a really emotional moment. But there was a scene in this episode where just him and Fennec are just sitting down talking. And him talking about his plans. And I'm like, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
But it says something when in a Boba Fett show that the best scene is when nothing is happening. But again, it was a good moment. Oh, and I got it. Chrysanthemum, Black Chrysanthemum. There was a scene with him in this that I also thought was pretty good. I got to say, I like that scene too.
I got to say, give Jennifer Beals her own show.
Give her more to do.
I love her. She shows up. I love her acting. I mean, she's like blowing everybody else away. I never thought, I took my passion and made it happen.
Yep.
And I never thought that, like, she's flash dancing up this place and I'm all there for it.
In a
And
world
the L
made
word.
of steel, made of stone.
Jennifer Beals and the L word.
No, I love the L word.
Yes.
But I mean, I never thought, in 1983, when she's eating pasta and sticking her feet between Michael Nori's legs at dinner.
She forever changed a generation of sweatshirt wearer.
Yes,
wearing.
she did.
I'm a huge fan of Flashdance.
Oh, who is not?
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, it's great.
And Adrian Lyne's movie that got delayed, I'm so bummed out. Do you know Flashdance is going to be 40 years old next
No,
year?
it's not. You're lying. That's
40
fake news.
40 years old next year.
Real? Well, how old is Jennifer Beals?
Well, that's the thing. I don't care.
She looks amazing.
Oh, she looks
I'd love
great.
to get
like
Bealed
80
by
right
Jennifer
now.
whenever.
Oh my
Just saying.
God! Wow.
So anyway, I again, sum it up. I thought this at least episode was an improvement over episode 3. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, questions for you guys. How are you feeling about the Book of Boba Fett right now? What did you think about episode 4? Good, bad? Was it an improvement? Was it not good enough? Whatever you guys are feeling, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.